friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Mary. I'm a Midwestern mom and I love posting all sorts of content about beauty and lifestyle here on YouTube. So if that is what you're into, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit that little bell for notifications. You know all the deal. You know the jazz, all the things to do. But yeah, do that. And then let's just get into what we're going to talk about today, which is 3 things that you should do to change up your beauty routine as we head into spring. Really quick, simple things that anybody can do. I'm going to walk you through it. Let's do it. First things first. Sunscreen. If you don't already have a sunscreen in your regular daily routine, I would highly recommend that you add that in, especially as, we start going into spring and summer where you're just going to be likely outside more often and exposed to more of those harmful rays from the sun. There's a ton of different types of sunscreens available on the market. Everything from really expensive high-end things to readily available budget-friendly drugstore varieties. I think you kind of have to play around a little bit to see what works best for you, likely depending on the type of skin that you have. So if you have, I would say, more oily or combination skin, I would recommend trying to find a sunscreen that is oil-free. Now, there's a bunch that you can find at like Ulta and Sephora. I will link things below. I'll pop pictures up here so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. But there's also a ton of like really budget-friendly ones as well. One of my favorite is by Neutrogena. It's an oil-free. It doesn't sort of leave like a slick or a film on the skin. It goes on nice and easy, and you can find it pretty much anywhere. If you're more into things like, let's say your skin is more sensitive, or you just want something a little bit more natural, you can definitely use a mineral sunscreen. One of my ultimate favorites is by Beekman. I believe it's got some zinc oxide in it. I'll have to double check those ingredients for you, but it definitely is a mineral sunscreen. You put it on, it does leave a little bit of a white cast at first, but that leads into this recommendation, which is really whether you're using a oil-free, really thin, kind of like nice light sunscreen, or if you're using something like a mineral sunscreen that's going to go on a little bit differently, put it on and let it sit for like 20 minutes. Let it kind of like soak in and kind of do its thing before you start to apply your makeup. That way you've got good coverage. If you're using a mineral sunscreen, it has enough time to sort of let that white cast go away, or you can kind of check it and like rub it in a little bit more in places that maybe you missed. But regardless of which one you use, I would definitely say like put it on, let it soak in for about 20 minutes, and then get into your makeup routine. But there's just a ton of different varieties that you can find out there. My second tip is to switch up your regular foundation routine. What you will find is that sometimes as the weather gets warmer, maybe like your tried and true favorite just doesn't perform the same, or it might feel a little bit heavier on the skin. Now, I tend to use the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation practically year round, but when it gets really hot or I'm outside a lot, I like to lighten it up a bit. I either go with a sheerer formulation or maybe something more like a BB cream, or you can try a mineral powder type of foundation. They come in both sort of like the loose kind. If you know about Bare Minerals, they've got a really good sort of loose mineral foundation. I also have tried this IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation. It's not a loose one, but it does have sort of like that same light feeling. And so not only does it feel light, I also feel like my skin sort of like can breathe a little bit better, if that makes sense. And it just sort of like gives you a lighter base layer than what you typically would have in the winter time. So we're going to go in with this Celebration Foundation, and I'm just going to kind of show you how we're going to lighten things up a little bit here. We're not going to do a ton of stuff today. We're just going to go nice and light and easy with the foundation. And I just sort of sweep over everything. It makes swirling motions. If you want to build up the coverage on a product like this, you totally can, but I just feel like for the springtime, I want less product. I find I want less product on my face. Also, opacity matters. So this product, it is a powder foundation, but I feel like it's got a lot of opacity in it. And I like that because I have a lot of hyperpigmentation and just sort of I would say like discoloration across my skin, that I still want something that feels light, but I want it to cover. And this is a great option for that. My final tip, tip 3, would be to focus on color. So not only the color itself, but sort of like where you're applying it as well. So I generally would use, I would say 3 or 4 different colors on my eyelids. And then I kind of use whatever tickles my fancy for a lip color. But as we head into spring, I'm gonna really lighten it up for the eyelids. So I'm literally just gonna use like a really light kind of bronzy color here, almost like a highlight color. You can use anything, just, you know, just lighten it up a little bit. And I'm just gonna give it like the tiniest of a wispy brush along the eyelid, just to add a little smidgen of like shimmer. That's it. Nothing too serious here. I'm not going to do any sort of like in the crease or anything like that. I already did put on some eyeliner and curled my lashes, but I like to lighten up the eyes for sure. You can also switch out colors like your blushes. So maybe you like to use more of like a deeper ruby or a darker mauve kind of color in the fall and the winter. Well, in the spring, like brighten it up, pop it up, maybe use something with a little bit of shimmer in it. There's a ton of options out there. Finally, you can switch up your lip color. So maybe you're used to wearing deeper, darker, moodier tones in the fall and in the winter. Well, it's springtime now, so let's brighten it up. You could use a bright kind of like pink or poppy color. You could also just leave your lips nice and bare. Like maybe you're used to wearing something a little bit heavier in the winter and you just wanna not do that. That's totally an option. I'm gonna use my IT Cosmetics. I believe this is the Je ne sais quoi color. It's kind of like a Vitality Flush, so it's like a color changing kind of lipstick. Goes on clear and then it changes to a pink. Last but certainly not least, your nail color. So I'm not wearing any nail color right now, but I am about to do my nails and I've already picked out a few pretty colors that I think, you know, they just make me smile. You know, I look at these and I'm like, yes, springtime, I'm ready. Kind of done with like the darker, almost like even the blues and the greens and those really deep dark tones. I want to jazz it up a bit. I'm going to go lighter. So pick out your favorite pink or coral or whatever it is. Sometimes I add a little glitter too. I'm a glitter girl. I love it. You can find all sorts of fun decals and like little flower things that you can even add to your nails as well. You find them at the drugstore. I find a ton of them at Walmart actually. And quick little tip, if you look in the little girl section, you will find a ton of really fun nail stickers there too. So if you want to brighten it up even more, head on over there. There you have a ton of options. So that is it for today. Again, 3 really quick, simple kind of ways that you can change up your routine, your beauty routine a little bit as we head into spring. So make sure you add that sunscreen in, find something that works for you, that kind of works with your skin type. Give it 20 minutes to set before you actually start applying a foundation base on top of it. Number 2, switch up your foundation if you need to. If you're feeling heavy, you know, with the winter kind of stuff that you were wearing, lighten it up a bit. Look for something that's got a different opacity if you're cool with that. If you like something that's got a more opacity in it, you can still find powders and lighter feeling foundations that give you enough coverage. And then finally, focus on color. Where you put it, the colors that you use. I lightened up a little bit on my eyes today. Put a different color on your cheeks. Maybe give yourself a pop of a lip and some fun nails. Just kind of play with it and have fun. I hope you liked this video. All the products that I used will be linked below, as well as some recommendations. I would super love it if you would give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. That way you know every time I upload a video. And until next time, see ya!